you how to make a full English breakfast. And to make that, you need tomatoes, eggs, baked beans, bacon, wheat bread, and you can't have a full English breakfast without tea. So first off, start by washing your hands. Okay, so we're gonna start with the bacon because it takes the longest to cook. And you're meant to use English bacon, but obviously America doesn't have it. English bacon just is pretty much the same, it just doesn't get as crispy, so I just got the extra thick bacon. So obviously turn your stove on and start getting it hot. Okay, so I'm not gonna use all the bacon because that would take too long, so I'm just gonna do a couple pieces. And you wanna make sure they're separate, because if they're not separate, then they won't cook right. Okay, so now while the bacon is cooking, we are gonna get a little hot like this, and you want it on medium heat, and you're gonna start warming up your baked beans. It doesn't really matter what kind you use, but these are actual English, like the Heinz beans. I actually had to go to an international store to buy these, so you obviously don't have to do that. So those just need to be warmed up, and while they are being warmed up, we're gonna wash the tomatoes. Then we've got to cut them into slices, because part of the English breakfast is fried tomatoes, and you kind of get it into not too thick, because otherwise then they just burn instead of actually getting nice and soft. So we're gonna put these in the pan after the bacon because we use the bacon grease. In England, bacon grease is used to cook everything, everything. And then you're just gonna start. The English are big fans of wheat bread because they're convinced white bread's gonna kill you for some reason. So we're just gonna toast some wheat bread for later. And then that's it for now, and we've gotta wait for everything to get cooked. Okay, once your bacon starts to pop, you wanna flip it because we're trying to not make it, what?
You burnt me.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to burn you. Some grease apparently splattered on her, my bad. So we're trying not to make it too crispy because we're trying to keep it as close to the original as possible. I think I just didn't, that one's not even cooking. So now we're gonna wait for that to start popping again.
Ooh.
Okay, so while you're cooking, you wanna make sure that you kind of keep stirring the beans, otherwise they'll just sit at the bottom of the pan and they'll get really burnt. So make sure you keep those stirring so that you don't end up with some completely cold and then some black. That would be really awkward. Okay, and so we've got to kind of switch all the bacon around because the heat is different on each side. So some are cooking faster than others. Okay, so you want to take it off of the stove before it's completely done, so that because it will cook by itself after you take it off. And this is as close as I could get it to English bacon without making it completely crispy. So that's the bacon part. And now we're going to use the bacon grease right here. And we're going to put it back on the stove now because we need it to stay warm. We're going to use that to fry the tomatoes. We're just going to do a few slices. So we're going to put those in. Those are going to pop a lot, so be careful. Okay, so the tomatoes don't take very long to cook, but it all kind of depends on how thick you make the tomato slices. So you're going to flip them. And if they've kind of got that yellowy look, it means you're doing it right. But you don't want it to completely brown over and get all the bacon slices on it, because then it will just taste like bacon instead of fried tomatoes. And then So this popped out earlier, but you're gonna flip them and you're gonna toast them again. But you don't wanna do the full time, otherwise they'll completely burn. So when those come out, we're gonna butter them. Okay, so we're gonna stop it halfway through and we're gonna get the plate. It's awkward. And we are going to just take one piece for this plate. You're gonna just plain butter. And it doesn't matter if it's too even because it's not like you're just gonna sit there and eat the plain butter. So then we're gonna take it over here and you are going to get your now finishedly cooked beans and you're gonna put it on the butter toast. Huh? Just eat. My cameraman is saying ew, so.
So gross.
I feel so much better now. So, and now the tomatoes are also finished. So we're gonna come over here. We're gonna put these on the plate too. And then, again, we're gonna use the bacon grease to cook our egg. Okay, so now we're gonna cook our egg and just crack it on. And they always do fried eggs. Apparently the English have something against other types of eggs. I tried to scramble eggs for one of my friends and she flipped out. And then, obviously, with raw eggs, we're gonna wash our hands again. Okay, so while the egg is cooking, I'm gonna show you guys how to make English tea. So, this is PG Tips tea, which is what I grew up drinking. And again, you have to go to an international store if you want to get it because it's the best kind of breakfast tea you can get. And so you're gonna put just one tea bag in a cup. Then you're gonna get sugar. It depends how much you want. Older English people take absolutely no sugar, and then the younger people will just like pack sugar in there like crazy. And now, I'm not at my house, so they don't have a kettle here, so I have to put it in the microwave, which is just weird. Everyone should have a kettle. If you don't have a kettle, go buy one. Okay, so we've got it in there for a minute, and that should get it at least hot enough. So now, our egg looks about ready to be flipped. Okay, we're gonna let it cook a little bit more actually, so that I don't break the yolk. Okay, so we're gonna do salt and pepper now while it's cooking, because if you do it after, it just doesn't taste as good, and the salt and pepper doesn't really absorb into the egg. And now it's ready to flip, and hopefully I won't break the yolk. Okay, got it. Don't think I broke it. It's always good. That won't take too long to cook. And now our tea is, we have like okay, 1 second back. Okay. Okay, so this water's hot enough. So now we're just gonna stir it a little, and then
Come here.
So that's it now. Okay, so while the egg is finishing, you want to leave the tea bag in the cup so that it gets nice and strong. So we're gonna get the egg out now, flip it onto the plate. As you can tell, it's very greasy. So that is the meal part finished right there. It's the whole English breakfast. And then you're gonna take the tea bag out of the tea, put it in the sink for now. Then you're gonna get some milk. You're gonna, just a little bit, and it kind of gets that like light brown. It looks kind of watery and gross, but it tastes delicious. And there you have it. As close as I could get to a full English breakfast in Tomball, Texas.